Some well-known and wonderful little phrases are in danger of dying out within the next 50 years. Let's talk about it. Hi guys, I'm JNewtz. Welcome back to the channel. Before I get started, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, click subscribe and ring that great notification bell so that you know every single time that I make videos. Now, let's get into this. You know that we're putting on a comedy show in April in Melbourne, right? You know, the one that's called Censored, the one that's all that dark humor, black humor, the stuff that's gonna get you banned from social media. You can buy tickets. You realize that, don't you? Links are below. Come on, click it. That's a good person. Let's face it, we live in a world these days where people can't even speak properly, read properly, let alone communicate properly. So when I read this article, which you can also read in the link down there, I was quite shocked in some ways, not shocked in other ways, and a little bit saddened in most ways, because this proves to me that society really is becoming fucking dumb, very stupid, and people don't really want to keep up traditions anymore. But more importantly, people can't work out the meaning of things. It's like a metaphor, where what you say isn't exactly what you mean you say, it's the meaning behind what you said. And I know that sounds like a huge contradiction, but if you don't know what the word metaphor is, use the dictionary, look it up. What am I, a fucking teacher? Now this article does come out of the UK, and whilst there are a lot of sayings in this particular article that are mostly UK based, a lot of them I know I've definitely used over here, I've heard growing up, so I'm assuming that these are fairly commonplace around the world, but then of course a few aren't. So here's a highlight from that list and the percentage of people that didn't know about it. At the top of the list, 78% of people had never heard of the phrase pearls before swine. And to be very honest with you, neither have I. In fact, that phrase may have practically died out because it probably refers to something 100, 200 or even more years ago. But you know what? You have to start somewhere. So that's number one. Number 3 on the list is colder than a witch's tit, and 71% of people didn't know what that meant. Now, the way I interpret that is, well, a witch doesn't go out very much, they probably hide away, so they're not probably in the most warm environment, so therefore their tits would be rather cold. Cold, maybe that could be your attitude. And that's just me surmising what that means. It's not hard, but people can't seem to work it out. Let's move on. Number 6, and this one really disturbs me, 66% of people didn't know what the phrase, "a nod's as good as a wink," meant. Now, I know that not everybody is into Monty Python. Not everybody has even heard of Monty Python because they were an amazing comedy troupe from the 60s and 70s. But there is a wonderful sketch. I won't even talk about it. Here's a part of it.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow you.
Follow me! Follow me! That's good, that's good. A nod's as good as a wink to a blind bat.
Wink, wink, know what I mean? Say no more, nudge, nudge, eh? You wicked, eh? Oh, yeah? No, now, surely you can work it out from that. So there's no reason to not know what the fuck that one means. Number 7 on the list, 64% of people had never heard of "a stitch in time saves 9." That is one of the most common fucking phrases. I don't understand how people have never heard of it, or the fact that people don't understand what the fuck it means. It practically means be prepared. If you've done your preparation, then it saves you all the bother. Come on people, work it out. 62% of people had never heard of "ready for the knackers yard." Well, that basically means it's fucked. It's about time we got rid of it. It's for the scrap pile, the knackers yard. Here's a few more. Keen as mustard. How have you never heard the term keen as mustard? It basically means you are not just keen, you're fucking super keen. And yeah, there's nothing keen about mustard, but how do you not work this shit out? A load of codswallop. People have never heard of it. It's basically the same as saying a load of bollocks, or a load of bullshit, or as we'd say these days, fucking bullshit. That's what it means. A load of codswallop. Read these sayings, learn them, use them. They're really good fucking sayings. I'm so disgusted. Let's keep moving on. Right, knickers in a twist. 56% of people have never heard the phrase, "don't get your knickers in a twist." How? How have you not heard that? It basically means, calm down, don't get carried away, settle down, son, don't get your knickers in a twist. It's not that important. Fucking hell. Storm in a teacup. It basically means it's not as big and bad as you're making out to be. It's a storm in a teacup, mate. A fucking teacup. 54% of people have never heard the phrase, couldn't organise a piss-up in a brewery. But maybe they're familiar with the phrase, couldn't organise a root in a brothel. Because it basically means the same thing. You're fucking useless. Just like 54% of people are fucking useless. Not enough room to swing a cat. It basically means you're in a very fucking tight space. You go off to see an apartment or a house that you want to rent or buy, and you go, fuck, it's so small, there's not enough room to swing a cat. Because if you swing a cat and it hits the walls, it's small. Why am I explaining the most basic fucking things? Flogging a dead horse. More than 50% of people haven't heard the word flogging a dead horse. If you ask a person out and they say no, and you ask them again and again and again, and they say no, 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 fuck off! You are flogging a dead horse. How have you not heard of it? Pop their clogs. That means they've died. Drop them a line. That means give them a call. Because, do you know what? You used to use the telephone service where the line connected you. And it still fucking does. It's just now the line is underground as well as overhead. Steal my thunder. That means don't take the attention away from me. A few sandwiches short of a picnic. That is basically another way of saying the lights are on, but there's nobody home. You fucking dumb cunt. Be there or be square. I'm not even going to explain that one. Fell off the back of a lorry. It basically means they're stolen goods. Here, don't talk about these people. You know, have that. It suits you. Don't mention it. Fell off the back of a lorry. Back of a truck. Do you not watch movies that actually use this language and go, that's kind of cool? You know, if you want to get a really good grasp of language, actually, watch Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels or any Guy Ritchie film because he uses a lot of these wonderful phrases. And if you can't work it out, you've got no fucking hope. A few more, then we're going to be done, all right? Eat humble pie. More than 50% of people haven't heard the phrase, eat humble pie. Now, for the people who haven't heard that, there isn't a pie that you can buy called humble, which is made out of humble sticks that you get out of the ground, okay? Eating humble pie is basically saying, if you fucked up, own it. Eat humble pie and just work it out. Fuck me. Why am I telling you everything? Right, that's it. I'm not going to read any more. I didn't even get halfway through. I'm disgusted and appalled that so many people have never heard of these sayings before. And if they have, they're like, what the fuck does that mean? Well, you know what? Go onto the Urban Dictionary and fucking find out. Do a Google search. In fact, I want you to read every single one of these ones in the list below. I've put it at the top there. Make sure you read it. Have a look at all of these sayings. And some of them are quite outdated because they refer to things maybe 100 or more years ago. But a lot of them, I mean, my parents used that when I was growing up. I still use them now. I mean, to me, some of these sayings are quite common. And you know what? It's fun to have little sayings. And sayings like these are the best way that you can get through this woke bullshit PC culture world. Because you can't call someone a fucking moron anymore, but you can basically say that they're a few sandwiches short of a picnic. Because it basically means the same thing. One of them's offensive and the other one isn't offensive. The other one's clever. And it's these clever little sayings that are in danger of being lost. So if you're worried about offending people or being woke or PC or whatever, learn a lot of these fucking phrases. Because it's a great way of saying to someone, you're a fucktard or you're a dumb cunt or whatever it might be, and you can totally get away with it. If you're somebody who's in their 30s or 20s or younger and you are lucky enough to actually have a good education and a good vocabulary, well, you know what? This really isn't a video for you, but most of you are probably like, oh, but I don't know any more words than like and in it and lit. So do yourself a fucking favor, learn some decent phrases, learn how to speak properly as well. You're going to have fun with all these. Right, that's enough. I want to hear from you now. Leave me a comment below. Have a look at the list and let me know what other sayings that you have heard that you either don't use anymore or that you think are wonderful staples. Do you think that we should actually let our language and all these wonderful sayings die away within a few short decades? Or do you think that we should do the best we can to save a lot of these because they're fun little sayings? Whatever your opinion is, I want to hear from you. Now, before I go, don't forget, we are putting on Censored at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival this April, and the tickets are on sale in the links below in the description, so make sure you get them. We would love to see you there. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel, ring that great notification bell, and remember, don't be a fucktard. You know, I've heard of some tragic things in life that really can affect us all, but this one really takes the biscuit. Takes the biscuit, the cherry on top. Work it out, fuck's sake.